Hey y'all, it is October 8th, 2025, and it's better late than never. We're going to get into the astral energies of the day. Now, I will say that there isn't a lot of transits that's going on today. However, it's definitely giving less is more, and it's giving quality over quantity, right? That's very important, especially with the fact that the moon had ingressed into the sign of Taurus, and Taurus likes to be luxurious and beautiful and really grounded in its way. It can be a little bit of stubborn, so we're going to see some of that. However, we have a beautiful Venus sextiling Jupiter energy that's activating us today, as well as continuing on tomorrow. And Venus is the natural ruler of Taurus. Well, this energy is playing out in a ways that it's giving patience is a virtue. It's giving slow and steady, but opportunities definitely coming in, and financial shifts. So we'll get to that in just a moment. I'm also going to pull a card for the collective pertaining to all this energy. And so, as I mentioned, the moon ingressed into Taurus at 12:12 Eastern Standard Time, midnight. And that energy, the moon is exalted in the sign of Taurus. The moon likes to have conversations with Taurus, being very receptive to the information, to the currencies and the waves of love and the psychology of the moon, right? Of the air, the waters, right? In that space, Taurus is very patient. In the same token, that's when it's evolved, right? But in the shadow side, you know, this can be someone who's really stubborn and not really wanting to move. And so the square, we have the moon in Taurus squaring Pluto in Aquarius that happened at 2:23 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, this energy is where perhaps some of you could have felt some resistance, some tension, some stubbornness to maybe like even technology, maybe to even like the AI stuff that's going on, or just like certain collective movements. You're just like, you know, I'm not wanting to move in that direction. I'm standing 10 toes down firm here in this foundation, and there's nothing wrong with that per se. However, there is this like subconscious heed or warning for some, not all, where it's pertaining to don't miss out on the opportunity that you have to grow just because of your stubbornness or because of fears and you not being open or willing to evolve and shift and change. And so that's where this square is. There's an opportunity that's coming to present itself for greater expansion. That's to connect deeper with your soul's technology and your authenticity, and grounding it down into your earthly experience, into matter. Yet this feels contradictory to maybe your beliefs, your values, or even you know, maybe you feel like you have to learn a little bit more about technology, or maybe you don't even take the time to learn of your own technology and you're just relying on AI. You're relying on maybe ChatGPT for all your downloads, as opposed to sitting in meditation and receiving your downloads. That's another way that this transit could have been activating, right? Maybe some of you were sleeping at this time. Maybe some of you were doom strolling, right? That's what that energy refers to. It's like having the capability of having all the technology in your hand and not necessarily doing anything with it because your mind is either not willing, it's in a stubborn way, or you are feeling incapable, whether it's due to fear or resources, or even like your value structure. For some of you, this is also like the moon in Taurus is really asking you to look at like your worthiness and how open you are to being receptive. And some of you, maybe y'all are just natural bullies in this space, and there's going to be like a collective of energies kind of G-checking you back into your like real stands of where you belong energetically, type of thing. That can be a way. In the dream realm, this could also just be like maybe you're receiving downloads, and it can feel like a nightmare for some of y'all because y'all are scared of what you're seeing. For others of you, this is like healing in the dream realm, even for greater expansion and whatnot. So definitely, you know, needing to take it slow and allow yourself to be open to receiving the shifts in that space where it's a little bit uncomfortable or you may have some resistance, right? And then we have at 4:14 a.m. the moon going opposite Mercury. Now, Mercury is in the sign of Scorpio right now. So Mercury is not being too shy with wanting to G-check an energy or people, places, situations, and things, right? And the moon in Taurus is like, hey, I don't really want no beef. I don't really want no problems. But with the opposition, it gives opportunity to meet in the middle ground and see how can we come to some conflict resolution. That's really the goal. So if you woke up at 4:14 a.m. or you were up at this time, perhaps you were receiving some downloads or guidance or news pertaining to what shifts do I need to make in my life to create a better outcome or this type of solution that I am looking for, right? These types of questions may have come up for you, and your answers may have been delivered to you at that time, or you may have even like maybe gone into like a deep meditation to get into like an abundance mindset, to really get into the spaces where all solutions are revealed to you. In that type of space, perhaps this was you getting into a space of integrating with your shadows and letting them work for you or working with you, or maybe even just maybe you've been too much in your shadows, too much in your heaviness and densities, and you are calling on your light fragments and allowing yourself to be in your wholeness with your light codes and the healings and that type of energy. And so it's really taking that energy happens really fast, right? With Mercury. Now, Mercury is getting ready to go into a retrograde. And so this is where maybe information or things was coming in really fast for you to start seeing a shift. But it's also saying like with this shift, as fast as it comes is maybe as fast as it may go, unless you are really truly integrating the wisdom of this energy. Otherwise, it's just going to come in, it's going to do what it has to do, and then it's going to go out. And, you know, how are you going to tap into that energy again later on? So it's really just a conversation of showing you what is possible, what is around, what opportunities are available for you to see the opportunities, but you have to be open to receive these opportunities, even if it seems like it's different than the ways that you thought it was going to come in, or just operating from either the light side or the dark side of yourself, but not necessarily being in denial that, you know, your light comes in to bring you some form of consciousness, healing to your consciousness and information to your consciousness, while your shadows also represents a part of yourself where the chaos needs to have the potential to explore in a different manner than you have known it to to express itself like traditionally and stuff like that, right? So that's just one way that this energy could show out. This could also be like, you know, getting news from a nearly departed energies. But then we get into, at 6:40 a.m., we get Venus sextiling Jupiter. And this energy is that like juicy love making, let's get it on type energy, where the beauty of your soul and the lavish abundance of the universe that is in your soul's covenants, in your soul's purpose is really coming in to share with you how luxurious it is to be you, how beautiful you are in your soul, how beautiful you are in your wisdom in this space here. It's coming in with the opportunities, whether it's a work opportunity or like financial shifts. This is also like financial shifts for the better that's coming in here, or even like wisdom and guidance of how to pivot, where to put your investments, your time, your energy and attention into. This energy just comes in with a lot of pleasure and joy and that lightheartedness, like I mentioned, because of how heavy it was yesterday with the Chiron activations and everything. This energy is just really coming in to say the wisdom of why all those shadows and hardships and experiences had to occur, kind of giving you the information of where it's coming from, so that you can make love to the parts of you that may be attracted this type of experience, or maybe even tolerated this experience, so that justice can be served on a soul level, and the beauty within you can truly shine out by expanding your aura, by expanding your mind, expanding your heart in this space, and really getting ecstatic and stretching your energy. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe even some of y'all were feeling like a lot of maybe anxiety or just excitement in this spaces because opportunities are coming in. And just feeling even more like pretty, wanting to like connect with like feminine products, or even like connect with the mirror, whatever the case. That mirror magic is definitely great for this. Money magic is great for this as well. Even like sex magic, right? Connecting with these energies to really bring more joy and pleasure and happiness into your life here. And then we have later this evening, the moon opposing Mars, which is also in Scorpio. So with the moon opposing Mars, this energy is really getting into the space where either you're gonna be really in your passion and like aggressively a little bit, because you're like, yo, I have to get this done. Like you're really gonna want to get things done really fast. But because the moon is in Taurus, the moon is like, hey, slow down, buddy. Like, yeah, like we got to get things done, but these things need to get done too. And so like tending to like the little tedious things at first, or it could also be like, but we need to establish some sort of resources. It can feel a little bit uncomfortable because there's a lot of wanting to get things done, but maybe not being able to fully get everything done today, with this energy. However, it is showing the opportunities. And for some of you with the moon opposing Mars, maybe you feel like there is no alternative. There are no other opportunities. It is like, this is the only path, the only way, the only thing you can do. And it can build a little bit of like frustration in that space. And so I invite you with the Venus sextile Jupiter energy to allow Jupiter to lend you its wisdom, right, to guide you in that space, and Venus to lend you your love frequency in that space, to bring expansion and opportunity and resources in the spaces where you feel like there is lack, or not the, like, whatever needs to come up. Invite those opportunities to come in for justice to serve you in that way, and neutralize any energies inside of you that is not contributing to the wellness of your being and of the collective in that space. Maybe, do some prayer for yourself. It's also with the Venus sextiling Jupiter, this is also where your faith comes into play. And so when the moon opposes Mars later on in the evening, you might be like, I'm gonna throw my faith right out the window because I'm frustrated, or like, the moon may just be like, just slow down. There's something here that you still have to learn, or there's something, just wane it down just a little bit. So that's the little frustrating energy, but otherwise it's a pretty good energy. Let's see what collective card we have here. Whoop, there we go. And we have the Hierophant in the bottom of the deck, right? And so we were just talking about like your faith, your religious views, right? There's a lot that is being destroyed right now. There's a lot that's being dismantled. There's a lot of that's needing to be corrected, where justice needs to serve. There's a lot of exposure to like even like fake churches and things that is not really serving the collective in its true form of love, right? In true form of beauty and expansion and growth and abundance in that space, where it dishonors the covenant with source, with God, that is giving all our needs provided to us in a collective manner that is harmonious to us. And then we have the Two of Swords here in reverse. Now, with the Two of Swords in reverse, this tells us that we cut the cords, and there is no confusion. Like, you're no longer confused. You gain so much clarity. Or if you feel like you're still in a space of confusion, definitely, especially with the moon squaring Pluto earlier, there was a cutting off illusions to bring clarity, because God brings clarity. Source brings clarity. So, allowing yourself to being able to see with your physical eyes what your spiritual eyes is trying to show you in this space, but also being able to see with your spiritual eyes what you cannot see with your physical eyes, right? In this space here, where you untether yourself from the energies that is making you doubt or question your faith, but rather honor your true sovereignty of your soul and your intuition, to rebuild and establish the true covenant with yourself and source in this space here. So this is like cord cutting energy. This is also learning which direction it is that you have to take if you were confused, gaining the clarity, or making a major decision at this time, like you're making a decision. So y'all, that is the collective energy. May it serve you for your highest and greatest good. Until next time, peace, y'all.